WorldSBK's first race in Cremona, the final third of the 2024 season, gets underway. Good start from P4 there from Andrea Locatelli. They're going to go three abreast in towards the tight turn one. Petrucci's already made a position as well. Lowes relegated to fourth place. That is a good jump from Andrea Locatelli. He's up into third. Honours even at the head of the field, status quo maintained with Bulliger leading Iannone. Andrea Locatelli thinks about a jab down the inside. It's left him slightly offline though. Alex Lowes now has the momentum to capitalise. Can't quite pull alongside. Tight, twisty infield section all the way from turns 1 to 6. Now the circuit starts to open up as we complete the opening lap here in Cremona. Danilo Petrucci has already gained. Brad Ray with a super start. He's up into P6. Tito Rabat gaining ground as well early on. He's into 7th. Vierke and Lecuona on the Hondas relegated down to 8th and 9th positions as we see them make their way through turn 8, one of the slower corners on the circuit at 70 kilometres per hour. Locatelli now defending from Lowes, Petrucci behind him, but Brad Ray, super start from him as well to go with the leaders from 6th position. Yeah, it was a great start from Brad Ray, but at the front of the field, Bulliger able to convert his pole position. Someone's gone down there at the back of the shot as well, and we'll try and see who that was, but for Bulliger, it's Tito Rabat after his really strong start to the weekend. That's a shame for Rabat. But look at the front of the field and how much space Bulliger has already. That's going to be tough to make back. Petrucci through on Lowes. That's for 4th position. And another place gained by Danilo Petrucci trying to work his way back to where he originally qualified, remember, in 3rd position behind Bulliger and Iannone. And he's got to do it with a minimum of fuss. He wants to clear Locatelli swiftly because he considers himself a contender for the race victory. Certainly the pace we've seen so far this weekend from Petrucci suggests he could go with those lead 2 Ducatis, but he's got to get through quickly on Andrea Locatelli here. Never shy, is he, Danilo Petrucci? And now he's going to attack Andrea Locatelli for 3rd position, where a lap ago he moved through into 4th. Petrucci re-establishes himself back in his original qualifying position. The problem for him is the two leaders have managed to break away. A second is the gap now to top spot Nicolo Bulliger. Yeah, and for Locatelli, he lost a bit of momentum through 11, but was still able to hold on to that 4th position at the front of the field, though. Bulliger half a second in hand, but last time around in the final sector, Iannone a lot stronger to be able to close down that little bit of a margin. Andrea Locatelli certainly higher up the order than he has been in recent rounds. 2 very disappointing rounds in a row for him and indeed for Yamaha. But 4th position looks vulnerable there as Iannone catches Bulliger by surprise on the switchback, and the change of direction, and Iannone hits the front on Nicolo Bulliger at the end of the opening sector on lap 3. Lap 4 and now less than a second covering your lead quartet. Iannone, Bulliger, Petrucci on the march. Lowes with a new personal best last time around as well, and Petrucci's got a real run here. Danilo Petrucci with the inside line in towards the turn, the Cremona turn, on towards the back straight. An opportunity for him to go after Iannone here, and Bulliger might have been looking over his shoulder to see where Petrucci was coming. Now he can see the exhaust pipe of that Barney Ducati, and Petrucci is still hunting down Andrea Iannone as they head in towards turn 11. Andrea Iannone, we've seen it before, when he does lose a little bit of ground, he is often able to dig in and find something extra and recover. He doesn't always drop back once he starts to lose ground. So we'll see if Iannone can recover here against Danilo Petrucci. Enticing squabble up at the head of the field here. Yeah, it really is. And then Locatelli's doing a good job around about a second back of them. And then the 2 Hondas. Javi Vieira is worth keeping an eye on because the Honda uses its tyre very well, and he might well be able to keep himself in contention there. Bad news for Sam Lowes. He has crashed out, and he was just on the fringes of the top 10 positions at the time of that spill. Lap number 6. Alvaro Bautista, for the record, promoted into 11th place. His teammate Nicolo Bulliger, 2nd in the World Championship standings, is only 3rd on track at present, and this would mean that Toprak Razgatlioglu leaves Cremona still as the championship leader, unless Bulliger can find his way back into those top 2 places. Petrucci, Iannone, Bulliger and Lowes, and there's the gap to Locatelli, Vierke and Lecuona. Yeah, Lowes just matching the pace of the race leader Petrucci, but Bulliger a little bit faster than Petrucci. That's why it looks like it's closing up a little bit. That's Iannone! Iannone from 2nd position, the best opportunity he's yet had to win a race in WorldSBK, and he's thrown it into the gravel trap. Yeah, and Iannone there with that crash on the development tyre as well. That's on that right-hand side where that tyre has been wearing for a lot of riders, so maybe that's a factor for that already at this stage of the race. We'll keep an eye on the replay to see what happened to Iannone, and he just loses it very early into the corner there. Typically what we've seen for turn 7 is riders have just tucked the front through there and had their crash. You can see for
Bulega, as he watches on, he's going to see that Iannone is just going to have the front fold, and that's it. Similar to what we saw for Garrett Gerloff at that crash yesterday, and Lecuona had the crash there in the Super Bowl session as well.
Lecuona through on Vieque, I think, in the foreground of that shot as we were tracking back to find Michael van der Mark and Alvaro Bautista scrapping over 8th position. We'll watch them coming nose to tail, the two Hondas, in towards turn 11 on a lap 10, and Lecuona does indeed emerge in front. Meanwhile, Alvaro Bautista jabs down the inside of Michael van der Mark. Van der Mark toughs it out through turn 12. That's brilliant from Michael van der Mark.
Yeah, van der Mark doesn't give up positions lightly, and I'll tell you what, Top Rack watching this one, thinking of his teammates doing as much as he can to help out.
Well, it's important for the Manufacturers' Championship as well, as far as BMW are concerned. Van der Mark again will try to resist Alvaro Bautista. Bautista, you think, knows too much into turn 1, but into the infield section, Van der Mark just takes that track position back. Supposed to be single file through there, but Bautista getting his elbows out there. That was some nice work from Bautista as well, to his credit. Oh dear, and that is Alex Lowes down in the gravel from 3rd position. So that will promote Andrea Locatelli now into the podium places. Petrucci, Bulega and Locatelli, your top 3 as things stand.
Yeah, and it's going to be basically the same crash, you'd imagine, at turn 7 for Lowes. A little bit later in the corner, a little bit more whenever you're on the angle there, but that's with that same tyre that has been wearing a lot on the right-hand side.
Lecuona racing for 3rd position here against Andrea Locatelli. Holds it by 0.4 of a second at present. Lecuona tagged right onto his tail, though, is not being left. Vieque is starting to drop back, and I think it will be a matter of time here before Bassani comes through for 5th place. Lecuona looks to have more pace than his teammates. Vieira
is also one of those riders using that development rear tyre as well, so the same as the tyre that we saw for the crash for Iannone and for Lowes as well. So is that starting to be a factor for the Honda as well?
Pace has dropped off, but Bautista's hasn't. He's gained 0.4 of a second on Bassani on this lap 12 so far. Bassani's bottled in behind Xavi Vieque in that battle for 5th as Locatelli leaves the door slightly ajar, and Lecuona is looking for a way to prise it open. And we know there's no doubting the top-end speed of that Honda, and there is a bit of a doubt over the top-end pace of the Yamaha, and it's Lecuona who makes his way through into a podium position. Lecuona, who hasn't been on the podium since race 2 of the Dutch Round 2022, has a golden opportunity here as he heads that group from 3rd place down.
The Honda rider, he's going to know that you're going to be under pressure. The one thing is he's strong in the straight line, but Alvaro's just got so much more speed than him, should be able to make the move pretty comfortably.
Honda past versus present. Alvaro Bautista has been picking off riders left, right and centre over the last couple of laps. He's a 2nd from the podium, and he needs to keep making progress. He breezes through on Xavi Vieque in straightforward fashion on lap 13. 5th place now for Alvaro Bautista, having started right the way down in 13th position on the grid.
Yeah, and you can see for Alvaro there, just how, as he's moving on the bike, he looks pretty comfortable there as well. It looks like the bike's doing what he needs it to do, and we've seen this all the way through this season, that in race conditions he's got that bike sorted now. It's just about that single lap pace, and Superpole has just cost him so much this season.
Here goes Alvaro Bautista trying to find a way through on Andrea Locatelli, and you just know he's going to set it up through this turn 10, the Cremona corner, and onto the back straight to make his move then for 4th position. Locatelli right in front of Alvaro Bautista. The man who did sit in the podium places, Locatelli, but who's dropped behind Lecuona, has now lost out to Alvaro Bautista as well. And frankly, moves Ducati versus Yamaha in a straight line here at the Cremona circuit look far too easy. Alvaro Bautista bidding to make it an all-Ducati podium in our first race at the Cremona circuit. Chases down Lecuona. It's Honda past versus present. Lecuona, the current Honda leader. Alvaro Bautista, their former man and former podium finisher with Honda as well, but just breezes through on Lecuona once again down the back straight. Bautista making that pass look pretty straightforward, and it has been pretty straightforward for Bautista to climb as high as 3rd.
Yeah, and he's 0.4 of a second faster than the riders in front of him as well on this lap already before we even come to the final sector, but he made that move without costing himself any time, so we'll see what his lap time is. He comes across line. It's another half second quicker than his teammate Nicola Bulega. That gap's down to 5 seconds, so it needs to be even more than that for Bautista, but it just gives an indication of his speed.
Just got notification of a red flag. A red flag has come out, which will bring a premature stoppage to this race.
The race was red flagged due to technical and safety issues at Cremona, and with 2/3 race distance completed, it meant Danilo Petrucci was declared the winner.